It is awesome to have new Cougars football coach Kirby Moore with us today. And Kirby, first of all, let's get right to this Northwest picture. I mean, you played your high school ball at Prosser, former 2A state player of the year. Let's get that out there. You played for your dad. You got all these great Northwest connections. How excited are you to be back in this area?
Yeah, very excited. Growing up in this state, son of a high school football coach. Obviously, my wife is also from Prosser, Washington, was a grad assistant at Washington. Don't hold that against me. Had a great experience there working for Coach Peterson. But it's great, obviously, from a football standpoint. I think there's an awesome opportunity at Washington State right now, and then there's a family side to it as well.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's talk about the football side of it. What's it been like for you assembling your coaching staff and getting everything ready out there to start running the ball and getting going?
Yeah, everything happened really quick, right? Getting in on the Sunday there in Pullman, and then it was about meeting our players, and naturally they've been through a lot the last couple of years, and being around those guys and hey, what they've been going through, where they're at, are they thinking about leaving, and making sure, honestly, I think the best thing right now in college football is to have transparency, and that's something that we had throughout the process. I made sure I traveled with the team to Boise and be around them with their parents and meeting with them and having an understanding of where they're at. I think we did a great job of having retention while building a staff, and that's really important because our players got to understand who they're going to be getting coached by.
You know, you talked earlier, since you've gotten this job, about getting everybody to work in the same direction. You said that's like one of the hardest things you can do. Can you elaborate a little bit on what you meant by how difficult that is?
Well, there's just a lot of polls right now within college football. You look at the portal, you look at NIL, you look at opportunities anywhere and everywhere. And so it's really important in terms of having a vision for what we want this thing to look like from a players and the coaches and everyone buying in and making sure we have common messaging.
How about as far as the Cougar football program as a whole? Because there's a lot of fans out there that kind of want to know some things about the team. What can you get done this time of year? What are some of the things you're doing?
Yeah, right now we're in our Elite Edge program, and we just had a meeting on Wednesday talking about having great energy on a consistent basis. And our guys are doing a great job buying into the weight room and working with Coach Hardman, who came from Missouri. And I thought that was a huge part of our success at Missouri and the SEC, was making sure our guys are physically developing, but making sure we're keeping them on the field at the same point. And then within a couple weeks here, we're going to start working on the football side of it.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you about every position on the team, but everybody seems to love to talk about the quarterback situation. Xavier Eckhouse not there anymore, but just a great, fun guy to watch, I thought personally. I thought he was a really cool dude. How about as far as your quarterback situation and the guys that are competing?
Yeah, I think you look at Caden Pinnock coming from UC Davis, Julian Duggart, Owen Eshelman. All three of those guys have a ton of strengths. The whole offense is going to revolve around the quarterback. And within that, we play different styles at different places. You look at Fresno State in 2022, we had Jake Haener, fourth-round draft pick in the NFL, and able to throw the ball all over the field. And then going to Missouri in the 2023 season in the SEC, and our quarterback's legs were an asset. So it's going to be all about what is our quarterback's strengths and assessing the things that he's really good at and making sure we're emphasizing those. Yeah,
so I would imagine there's a lot of positions that are just wide open, huh? I mean, a new coach comes in, it's like...
Yeah, the whole spring is going to be about competition and improvement. And we're all on this constant quest, players and coaches included, about reaching our personal best, and that's going to be a constant process.
Let's talk about the Pac-12, the Cougs and Oregon State, the two programs holding down the fort in the Pac-12 over the last season. But now there's this rebirth there, and I would imagine there's some pride involved in rebuilding the conference.
Yeah, I think there's an immediate vision for this conference. There's a lot of successful programs as well. Obviously, Washington State and Oregon State being two of those. But there's going to be a ton of really good competition when you look at what bowl games those programs have been to. I think it's going to be an exciting brand of football that people are going to be able to be really looking forward to this fall.
Yeah, you grew up watching the Pac-12. Were you looking at that from across the country going, man, it's a shame what happened there?
100%. I'm a Pac-12 after dark, right?
Yeah.
Growing up and watching those games and the competition and the fan bases. And I think with the new conference, there is some definite ties from and great travel for the fans and the players and their families. And I think that's going to be an awesome opportunity for Washington State.
You talked at your opening press conference, I believe, that the door is always open to former Cougars and the Cougar legends out there, and you want them involved, you want them to come back. How important is it to have that connection?
Yeah, very important. They built this place, and they've been a part of the success and the 19 bowl games and the 4 Rose Bowls, and even some of our staff came to the Seahawks game 2 weeks ago and made sure stay after the game there, see some of the staff and see Abe Lucas and the success that he's been having at Washington State, and Kyle as well, being in the Super Bowl for the Patriots. And so all those guys, and I think we might see Marcus Trufant tonight And all those guys want him back, want to make sure, again, because our players got to have an appreciation for who's built Washington State.
Yeah, and after running through and talking to those guys over the years and seeing them and the experience you've had with them, and the guys we work with here at the station are just crazy Cougars. Everywhere I go, it's go Cougs this, go Cougs that. But you know that there's such a passion for anyone who went to that school, especially the athletes.
Yeah, Washington State has been built on doing something for more than yourself, and I think the Go Cougs, just the family side of it, obviously the competitive side of it, the success on the football field. So just really looking forward to getting started here.
All right, Chris Peterson, your former coach, is in the College Football Hall of Fame, which is awesome. Big fan of Coach Pete. What's your, you spent some time with him as a player and then also as a graduate assistant at Washington. What are the feelings when you see him going in?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Pete, just super appreciative of him, and I had a ton more going from the player at Boise to him coming to Washington, and not just carbon copying the culture, right? He had to adapt, he had to adjust, different circumstances, different conference, different players, and it wasn't easy either, right? At one point in 2015, we were 4-6 and battling our tail off to get to a bowl game, and then the next year, right, propelled into the college football playoff. And he's always been there for me, obviously right now going through this process and becoming a head coach, and I've called him, and right, I more put it on speakerphone, put the phone right here and let him in terms of the do's and the don'ts and taking his advice.
Yeah, man, I mean, taking advice from a Hall of Famer now, and he's had such success, of course, in his career, a ton of success at Boise State. But it's kind of cool, huh, being able to glean information from a man like that.
Yeah, all the mentors that I've been able to be around and past, head coaches, whether it's Chris Peterson or Jeff Tedford. Jeff Tedford's forgot more football than I know, right? He's a wizard from an offensive standpoint, and then working for Kalen DeBoer, and he's exactly who you think he is on a consistent basis standpoint, and then working for Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, and just his innovation from an NIL standpoint and building a roster, and you've seen that firsthand in the SEC.
I know you have a tight family there, and we talked about Chris Peterson, and your dad, Tom, of course. But what's it been like with Kellen? I mean, you must have had a ton of conversations with him.
A lot of dialogue. Naturally, a lot of it is about football. There's also a family side to it. He's got 4 kids now. We got 3 kids. And look, my parents can't wait. My parents have a retirement home in Richland, so I know they can't wait to get all the grandkids back together. But just for us both to be going through this at the same time, I think that's we're both a resource for each other in terms of helping each other through this process.
All right, one last question for you. You guys open the schedule on September 5th. When they put that schedule out there, I'm like, holy cow, this guy's just jumping right into the fire. You got a game at Montlake, against the Huskies. Right out of the gate is the Apple Cup.
Yeah,
what were your thoughts when you saw that on the schedule?
Super excited.
Yeah.
Right, really looking forward to it. I think our players know what's at stake, and just having that opportunity right off the bat, I think it's going to push us even more throughout the offseason, players and coaches, and can't wait for our fans to be here.
Yeah, well, we talked about head coaches in the past, and they kind of like to have that build-up to that big game. They like to have maybe a little lesser opponent in the game week 1, then maybe some medium opponent in 2, and then maybe the big one in week 3. You don't have that luxury.
We're going. and again, there's more access than ever in college football, so I think just us going through this process of spring ball, June access period, fall camp, and we got to be ready to go there September 5th.
And look at this. You listen to this guy, you watch his mannerisms, you feel like you could put a helmet on or just go right now, man. I feel like I can feel the excitement sitting here next to you that you just cannot wait to get going.
We're just really excited. I just can't wait to get on the field.
Yeah.
Right, with our players, and that's who it's about. It's about the players. They're going to make the plays on Saturday. I'm not going to make any plays on Saturday. Our staff hopefully puts them in a position to be successful, and just look forward to getting out there with the guys.
Well, man, it's been great talking to you, and I'm looking forward to many more conversations with you, Kirby. So welcome aboard out here, and good luck.
Go Cougs.
All right.